Oilseed rape is a really major break crop today. Clearly it's with something in the order of 750 to 800,000 hectares of oilseed rape being grown this year. It is quite clearly one that growers value and second only to wheat in area terms. So it provides a major benefit to growers' rotations. It provides not only a good gross margin, but it also spreads fixed costs and provides a good level of weed control. So retaining that within a rotation, avoiding the loss of profitability that would inevitably result if people were to have to grow spring crops as a result, is an absolute must. To do so, it's absolutely essential that farmers and agronomists use products safely, use products wisely, and in essence use them to the best possible way that maximises their efficacy and minimises their impact. That means best practice, it means adopting and using and sticking to the principles of stewardship, and essential to that is protecting water from herbicides and also ensuring that other pesticides as well don't get in. So to retain that profitability of oilseed rape, it is essential that we protect other actives, we protect against resistance, because all of the major actives that we have at the moment have some question mark over them with regard to resistance. Many are common and we need to manage those, but some do offer a break from resistance. And it is also important that those herbicides that we do use, we keep out of water. To do so, we need a diversity of products, we need a diversity of options. Really important that all growers actually adopt the best practice, use things in the best way. They maximise the efficacy of what they're doing and minimise the impact of what they're doing. That means that they'll have to use new products in the same ways, new products in different ways, innovate how they use existing products, or change practice altogether. What is right and what is wrong will depend on an individual farm or catchment-based situation, but it's really important that every single grower does every single thing right.
Regarding oilseed rape crop, I think it's important that farmers raise their game with this crop. Yields have been constant really for 30 years, and there is potential to increase those yields. And I think farmers must do that, particularly as oilseed rape is more profitable. And weed control is an important part of that. And clearly, maximising weed control needs a bit of thinking about what herbicides you're going to use. And some of the herbicides you can use, such as carbetamide, have a useful role to play because they're not affected by resistance. And that's fairly unusual with the herbicides that are available in the UK for grass weed control. Most herbicides are affected by resistance to some degree. Carbetamide isn't, so within an oilseed rape crop I think it has a useful role to play in increasing the levels of control of blackgrass. We've done a lot of research at Rothamsted on carbetamide on a range of different blackgrass populations which have been well characterised at the mechanisms level, and we've had the same equally good control of all those populations, and I think that's highly significant. We know those populations fall down with some alternative herbicides, particularly the FOPs and DIMs, which used to work well but don't work well now because of resistance, but with carbetamide that continues to give good control of all these reference populations, and that's very much in its favour. Oilseed rape is an important crop in a rotation on most farms, and with declining performance of most herbicides in cereal crops, maximising control in oilseed rape is absolutely critical to maintaining good control. And carbetamide is one component in achieving maximum control in oilseed rape.
As you've heard, it's all about improving blackgrass control, but another key benefit in this repositioning is the benefits it brings in terms of water protection. We know that one of the dominant pathways through which carbetamide crawler gets into surface water is via drain flow, and we know it's inherently difficult to try and mitigate against that. And in fact, there's no real practical tools available. So what we presented today is all about bringing some innovations to that marketplace. It's using a lower application rate, it's applying it earlier in the season when in theory drains, field soils are drier, drains aren't flowing, and obviously what we're trying to do is administer a lethal dose to the blackgrass in the shortest possible time so that the active can do its job and then be dissipated by the soil without then causing some of the environmental implications from use which you've seen in previous years. So obviously a key thing to bear in mind is what we're talking about here. We're on about using a lower rate of carbetamide, so 2.5 kilograms, but because we're bringing the timing earlier in the season, we're now targeting small 1 to 2 leaf blackgrass with a shallow rooter system, completely moving away from the traditional timing, waiting for blackgrass to be tilled, deep rooted. In fact, we're trying to apply the principles that you apply to blackgrass control in your cereal crop to oilseed rape.